Morning, everyone. Hope you guys are all well today. I know that some of you are going back to school this coming week. Even though you're going back to school, it's going to be very different to how you have experienced school so far in your life. And I was thinking about it that a big part of your school career is being on a team. If you get chosen to play in your chosen sport, if you get chosen to play for netball or your rugby team, and you guys will wear a jersey that has the emblem of your school on it. So when people see you, they see you wearing this rugby or netball jersey or whatever it is, they see you wearing it and they can immediately identify and say, oh, okay, well, that person is from Uplands or wherever and they play for that team. And I'm sure you guys are missing that part of your school career a huge amount, not being in that team and not working together in your team and having that competitive sport. And you know, you when you are chosen to play on a team, you represent that school. You represent your school. The badge that you wear represents your school. And it got me thinking that as children of God, you know, when people look at us, they should see Jesus, and they should see we're a representative of Jesus, and we represent everything that Jesus is. And I want us to read today from Galatians 2 verse 20, and it says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. So what does this mean? I've been crucified with Christ. It doesn't mean that, you know, we have to have a physical crucifixion. What it means is that we identify ourselves with the cross, with the fact that Jesus died on the cross for us. We identify ourselves with that. And then when people look at us, they should see, oh, that person is a Christ follower. How do they know we're a Christ follower? It's because of the way that we act, the way that we live our lives. And in the same way that when you represent your school on a team, when you're at a sports event, you don't all of a sudden decide to just quickly switch teams like, oh, that team is playing much better, you know, they've got better players, I'm going to go over to that team there. Or no, I like that, I prefer that team because there's someone on that team that I really like. Or whatever, you know. You don't just decide to switch sides. And it's the same with us as children of God. It says here that I have been crucified with Christ. What does that crucifixion mean? It means that when Jesus died on the cross, I identify myself with everything that represents. And it says, I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. In other words, I can't just do whatever I want. In the same way, we don't just switch teams or just go here or go there. You know, I'm here on this team and I represent this team. And I can't just live how I want. You know, at your school, you've got rules and you've got regulations. And if you break those rules, if you break those regulations, there's consequences. And it's the same with us. When we represent Jesus, you know, we need to live our lives in a way that is pleasing to him. That's what it means when it says, the life I live. It says, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. And it says, I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. In other words, I can't just do whatever I want. As a Christ follower, I have to remember that Jesus lives in me and that I need to represent that. I am a representation of what Jesus did on the cross. I want to encourage you guys this week. It says, who loved me and gave himself for me. I'm quickly going to read verse 21. It says, I don't set aside the grace of God, for if righteousness could be gained through law, Christ died for nothing. In other words, I don't set aside the grace of God. And this is a gift that God gave us. Jesus died on the cross for us. And I don't take it lightly. Because grace, the grace of God is something that we don't deserve. And not one of us deserve to be in heaven. We can't earn our way. We can't buy our way. We can't work our way into heaven. It's only by grace. It's only by a gift. And it says here that if righteousness could be gained by law, in other words, if I could work for my righteousness, if I could work for my way into heaven, then why did Jesus die? Jesus didn't have to go to the cross then. No, it's because God knew that, we're human and we could never be 100% perfect. We could never be 100% worthy in his presence in our own strength, in our own ability. But we can be because Jesus died on the cross for us and Jesus paid the price for us. And that's what it means when it says, I have been crucified with Christ. I identify myself with what Jesus did on the cross for me. Encourage you guys this week as you go back to school, as life not going back to normal, not by any means, but wherever you are and whatever stage of your life you're in, remember that you're a representation, you're a representative of Jesus. In the same way you represent your school, you carry the badge of your school, you carry the badge of Jesus. And you should be showing Jesus to those around you. Make a decision this week, this coming week, to be that, to be a light, to remember that you have been crucified with Christ, and it's not you who lives, but it's Christ who lives in you. And God will give you the strength that you need. He'll give you the ability that you need to be victorious in that and to walk in that. Hope you guys have a great week, and we will catch up with you guys next week again. Bye.